But what makes this trap so dangerous is that most men never see it coming. Some of the most emotionally starving women aren't single. They're not chasing, not even looking. They're married. What makes them vulnerable isn't weakness, it's neglect. She still smiles in the family photo, still packs the school lunch, still wears the ring like it means something. But inside, she's fading. This isn't about blaming marriage or vilifying women. It's about seeing what most men miss until it's too late, because the one who looks the most loyal might already be gone. If you've ever thought, "Why didn't I see the signs?" You're not alone. Stay with me. What you're about to hear won't just open your eyes. It might save your sanity. You see, married life isn't always what it looks like from the outside. Behind the smiles, the social media posts, the matching outfits, there can be a woman starving emotionally. And that's exactly what makes her vulnerable. Not because she's evil, not because she's looking to betray, but because she feels like she's already invisible. Most men ignore the signs. We assume marriage means security, that a ring guarantees loyalty. But if you look closer, you'll see that the women who wear the ring are sometimes the ones already gone. Not physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And here's where it gets real. These women, some of them, become the easiest prey. Not because they're weak, but because they've gone unnoticed for so long. They're desperate to be seen. And if a man with the right presence walks by, they might not resist. This video is for the man who's tired of living blind. It's for the man who wants to understand what's really happening behind the curtain. Because the moment you see the signs, you can't unsee them. From the outside, she seems to have it all. Husband, home, kids, a structured life that many dream of. But what no one talks about is how structure can slowly become a cage. Day after day, it's the same routine. Wake up, make breakfast, get the kids ready, clean, work, repeat. The marriage becomes a machine, a cycle of responsibilities where the spark that once lit the room has been reduced to a flicker. And while everything appears solid from the outside, inside she's suffocating. This isn't about being ungrateful. It's about emotional starvation. A kind of emptiness that doesn't scream, it whispers. A restlessness that creeps in when laughter fades and touch becomes rare. She begins to feel more like a role than a woman, more like a function than a person. Then someone enters her orbit. Not better than her husband, just different, confident, unpredictable, alive. Someone who speaks with presence, who sees through the surface, who doesn't follow the script. And in that moment, she feels something she hasn't felt in years. Herself. She's not seeking chaos. She's craving contrast, not trying to betray, but trying to breathe. She wasn't looking to destroy her marriage. She was searching for a part of herself that got buried beneath routine. Have you ever seen a woman who looked perfect on the outside, but something just felt off? Drop A in the comments if you've ever witnessed that quiet shift. The moment when presence fades, but the routine stays. And in that craving, she becomes vulnerable, not because she's malicious, but because she's forgotten what it feels like to be excited. This is how it begins, not with betrayal, but with boredom. Not with cheating, but with curiosity. There's a kind of hunger that no amount of food can satisfy. It's not in the stomach, it's in the soul. For many married women, that hunger is for validation. When you're married long enough, the words stop coming. "You look beautiful today" turns into, "Did you pay the bills?" Compliments become silent, attention becomes functional, and she starts to feel invisible. Then one day, someone notices. Maybe it's a stranger. Maybe it's a coworker. Maybe it's a man who simply looks her in the eyes a little longer than usual and says, "You still got it." That single moment can feel like air after drowning. A rush. A reminder that she's not just someone's wife, someone's mom, someone doing chores. For a second, she's radiant again. Desired. Chosen. Social media becomes her playground. Each like is a heartbeat. Each DM a breath of fresh air. She scrolls not to pass time but to feel alive. And here's what most men miss. She's not looking for you. She's looking to feel wanted, to feel seen again. That's the addiction, being needed by someone, anyone, because she no longer feels that from the one she promised forever to. And in that search for validation, she drifts. Not out of hate, but out of emotional dehydration. There's a kind of power in being underestimated. And many married women, whether they realize it or not, wear that power on their finger. The wedding ring, society's ultimate symbol of commitment. For most people, it signals trust, safety, loyalty. It disarms suspicion before it even forms. After all, she's married. She must be safe, right? But here's the twist. That ring doesn't just protect her from temptation. It protects her from being questioned. While single women are watched closely, judged harshly, and assumed to be on the hunt, a married woman gets the benefit of the doubt. She can smile, flirt lightly, message late at night, and still be seen as innocent. And because the world assumes she's off the market, no one thinks to look deeper. That invisibility makes her powerful and dangerous. But here's the deeper truth. She's not always staying in the marriage out of love. Sometimes she stays for the image, for the title, for the illusion of stability. The house, the Instagram family, the social circle, it all looks perfect. But the heart behind it is gone. And that's the irony. The ring that once meant connection now becomes camouflage. It hides her emotional departure. It allows her to drift quietly while still being seen as loyal. Because society doesn't suspect the woman who looks the part. And that's exactly what makes her untouchable. By the time she physically walks away, she's already been gone for months, maybe years. You look at her and she smiles in the family photo. She laughs at the dinner table. She tags you in memories from 2 summers ago. But when you sit beside her, it's like touching glass. She's there, but she isn't. This is the part most men never see coming. They think cheating starts in the bedroom. But no, it starts in the silence, in the slow fading of eye contact, in the emotional withdrawal that creeps in day by day. It starts the moment she stops telling you how her day went and starts telling someone else. Maybe it begins as a harmless message, a compliment from someone at work, a curious reconnection with an old friend. But behind the screen, something deeper is happening. Her heart is drifting. Her need to be understood, to feel connected, to be alive again. It's pulling her away from the life she's built. And you might not notice because she's still doing the dishes, still picking up the kids, still keeping the rhythm of routine. but emotionally, she's gone. And when that part of her checks out, the rest is just a matter of time. By the time you feel the distance, she's already standing at the edge. All it takes is one moment, one excuse, and she crosses the line you thought was sacred. Just because something looks harmless doesn't mean it is. And in relationships, the most underestimated weapon is often innocence. She's soft-spoken, smiles often, maybe she cries easily. To most, she's sweet, someone who could never do real damage. But that's exactly the illusion. You see, innocence can be a shield, and in the wrong hands it becomes a tool. Some women have mastered the art of emotional redirection. They can flip the script in seconds, go from aggressor to victim without skipping a beat. They cry when caught. They turn confrontation into sympathy, and suddenly, you're apologizing for something you didn't even do. To the outside world, she's untouchable. To you, she's a confusion you can't explain. And every time you try to bring clarity, it slips through your fingers, because it's hard to argue with someone who always plays the wounded one. This is where Stoic men move differently. They don't get blinded by softness or thrown off by tears. They don't fall for the surface. They feel the energy. They listen, with more than ears. They observe patterns, not promises, because at the end of the day, it's not about how someone looks when they're smiling. It's about how you feel when you're with them. Real peace can't be faked. And once you learn to trust that quiet awareness, you'll see through every performance. And that brings us to the moment most men never prepare for. The day when everything looks fine, but nothing feels right. Let me tell you about Michael. He was 37, business consultant, clean apartment, weekend hikes. On paper, he had everything together. He met Lauren at a networking event, married, 2 kids, a soft voice, kind eyes. She talked about her family with warmth, but a hint of weariness. Nothing dramatic, just subtle notes of someone running on autopilot. They bumped into each other again at a coffee shop. Then again. Conversations got deeper. She said, "You actually listen to me. At home, I'm either ignored or managed." One message turned into 10. Then it became late-night texting, voice notes, secrets. Michael wasn't a predator. He wasn't even trying. But Lauren? She was starving for something she couldn't name, so when it showed up, she clung to it. They never slept together. But one night, she cried on the phone and said, "I don't want to ruin anything. I just want to feel wanted." That was the moment Michael stepped back. He realized he wasn't the solution. He was the escape. And deep down, she wasn't ready to fix anything. She just wanted a pause from her reality. That's the danger most men walk into, not realizing they're not part of a love story, but part of a moment of emotional survival. And it always starts quietly, not with passion, but with pain, not with seduction, but with softness. This isn't just about understanding women. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't get shaken. A man who sees things as they are, not how he wishes they were. Because when you stop chasing clarity from others and start building it within yourself, everything changes. At the end of the day, this isn't about labeling women as angels or devils. It's about seeing clearly, understanding that everyone, no matter how graceful, how sweet, how loyal they appear, is still human, still flawed, still capable of running when they feel empty. The goal isn't to hate, the goal is to notice. As men, we often get trapped in explanations. We want reasons. We want closure. But the Stoic path isn't to argue or to beg. It's to observe, accept, and walk away with your dignity intact. You don't need to catch her in the act. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. If something feels off, trust it. If the energy is gone, don't chase ghosts. There's strength in silence, power in restraint. So next time, don't get lost in the stories or the ring on her finger. Watch her actions. They'll tell you everything. And if you're building a stronger mind, sharper instincts, and a deeper sense of masculine self-worth, subscribe. This channel is your weapon. We speak truth. No fluff, no noise, just clarity. Now you see it. And once you do, you can't unsee it. If this message shook something in you, type "aware" below. Let others know you're no longer asleep. And if you're building unshakable clarity, unshakable peace, and the kind of masculine strength no one can fake, subscribe, because this is where real men sharpen their minds. You don't need to fight every battle, but you damn sure need to know where. The battlefield is. Watch her actions, not her